Most say that the It miniseries never could reach the glory of Stephen King's It novel. Why? There was simply not enough time to include every aspect that in the end turned the tale of Pennywise in such a sinister and successful story. But maybe there are other reasons of why some of the book's detail never saw a direct adaptation onto the screen. In this video, we want to take a look at 10 things that have been watered down or are completely missing from the It novel and people often never even heard about. Number 10. Henry Bowers' hate and violence are tuned down quite a bit in the It miniseries. Not only is Henry Bowers constantly calling various members of the Losers Club the N-word or queer boy, the novel explains in its own backstory that Henry had quite a hate-filled childhood. He was raised by his poor and mentally ill father, a former Marine that had a disliking against certain people on this planet, and passed on his anger to his son Henry. His childhood was a daily mix of violence and hateful comments about people that were different than the Bowers family. Around this time, Henry became the sociopathic bully at school. Whenever he saw the dog of young Mike, he called it the N-word dog. Henry hated Mike and his dog so much that after feeding him poisoned meat, he was quite amused over his painful death. On another occasion, he broke Eddie Casbrook's arm in the middle of the day on school property because he was angry at him. Number 9. The case of Patrick Hockstetter. Patrick is another psychopathic and violent member of Henry Bowers' gang. The others think as a member of low reputation of him. He keeps a pencil box full of dead flies with him, which he kills with a ruler, to afterwards show them off to other students. Another hobby of his is to capture injured or young animals, and to lock them in an old fridge in a junkyard, leaving them to die. After he got into a fight with Henry, who threatens him to reveal his secret about the refrigerator, he decides to dispose of the dead animals. When he arrives at the junkyard though, he is attacked by a swarm of flying leeches, which is Patrick's greatest fear. The leeches start to suck on his body, leaving huge and dark holes everywhere. He then gets dragged away by the It creature and finds himself being eaten alive. His body later gets discovered when the Losers Club ventures into the dark sewers in 1958. Number 8. Henry has an involuntary close encounter with one of the boys in his gang. The It miniseries does not even tell us about one of Henry's fellow thugs, the infamous Patrick Hockstetter, at whom we already have taken a quick look at. The series also hides from us that Henry and him had a very close encounter together. When in the It novel, Patrick Hockstetter kills his little baby brother and becomes very excited and aroused afterwards. He forces some uncalled for handoff on Bowers and tells him afterwards that he knows he liked it. This unsought experience makes the already uneasy relationship between the two boys very complicated and affects Henry in an unhealthy way in one form or another. Number 7. Beverly Marsh's father is more deeply obsessed with his daughter than we assume. Alvin L. Marsh is another father with a sick mind, similar to the one of Butch Bowers, the father of Henry. Alvin finds numerous reasons to beat up his daughter Beverly. It is stated in the novel that Al died in the 1980s from unknown causes. One could think that Pennywise himself could be responsible for that. But what the miniseries doesn't tell us is that Al is very much attracted to his own daughter in a very wrong way. This even got worse when Beverly's mother died. It is described in detail that he checks up on his daughter and that Beverly has to show him parts of her lower body. Beverly's mother, when still alive, even implies that he touched their little daughter, but it is widely believed that Al only started this kind of abuse when he later is influenced and possessed by the It creature. Number 6. Beverly offers her body to the Losers Club. In order to keep the group together and to believe in each other, Beverly weirdly is offering her virginity to the boys of the group. She wants to make them stronger and bring them back together. The character of Beverly Marsh in the book was a very tomboyish girl who didn't take anything from anyone. The book goes into deep detail and describes that when she has her way with the Losers Club boys, she reaches her first, let's call it, high point. After that strange occurrence took place, the young group found to their old strength and make their way to the sewers to finally face the It creature. You can imagine that a lot of readers were furious about that level of detail of such a questionable scene. The hardcore fans though claim that it is part of what makes the book so great. Number 5. Beverly finds out about Henry and Patrick's little secret. When Beverly finds out that Henry and Patrick had a little something going on that one day, the two threaten her and force Beverly to make love to each of them. Another gruesome detail of the abuse that takes place in Stephen King's book. Number 4. The abuse of Stan. All of these circumstances, and lacking the ability to really cope with what happened between Beverly and the Losers Club when they were loving each other, is probably one of the reasons that drives Stan, when he is an adult, into suicide. Even as a preteen, Stan exhibits some world weariness and skepticism, and in his older incarnation is too fearful to fight against the darkness anymore. Number 3. Stephen King's Dark Tower novel has a little cameo appearance. In the It novel, we get a brief but very significant allusion to the Dark Tower, which resurfaces in the Wastelands, the massive turtle. It depicts one of the tower's 12 guardians, which embodies ancient good magic and the power of youth, childhood, and life. It appears during the final battle to Bill Denborough, notably warning that some things can be done at 11 that are impossible to do later. Readers believe that the creature is speaking of magic and the belief in something greater. Number 2. The brother of Bill that gets teared apart in the beginning of the movie gets described in the novel as a decaying, pallid vampire zombie monster with bright, moldering flesh and scabrous pom-pom growths. In the miniseries and in the upcoming movie, we only see him in his yellow raincoat with a pale green ghoulish color. Unfortunately, we are losing a lot of detail from the description in the novel. Number 1. The It creature has a natural enemy, the turtle. It and the turtle originally existed in what is called the End of Macroverse. Seemingly eternal, both of them have existed since the beginning of time. It is said that they perhaps were created by the final other, who even lurks one void beyond. When Bill Denborough is pulled into the Macroverse, he gets introduced to the turtle the first time. He tells Bill that it created the universe and that it has not turned out as great as he thought because he had bellyache that day. Bill learns about the ritual of Chud, which apparently is the only thing that can defeat the evil It creature. Madarin is described as a massive turtle with an ancient appearance. When he speaks to humans, he appears very wise and grandfather-like. The book also describes that the creature sleeps most of the time. It therefore believes that Madarin is too old and stupid to really stand a chance against him. But the book describes the turtle as a source of wisdom and power. Maybe we can all agree that some of these details would not have had the right substance to make them a good fit for the TV miniseries, but it is the large amount of detail that makes the world of It and the little town Derry so lively and frightening at the same time. We all can wish that the new adaptation of the It movie will stay true a bit more to the novel than the miniseries did. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to support me on Patreon, I do appreciate every new member. Stay frosty.